We're now getting details of the deal that's been brokered between the Wagner Group and the Kremlin. Now, this after late-night talks were held between the Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Belarusian President. We're given to understand that the late-night talks between the Belarusian President and the Russian President was held just minutes after the Belarusian President also held talks with the Wagner chief. So, Belarusian president there who tried to broker peace and has been successful, so as to say, as far as the situation is concerned in Russia, the deal that says that the Wagner chief along with his troop would be retreating to Belarus, while the criminal charges that were initiated, proceedings that were initiated against Wagner chief would now be closed. Let's go across to Brigadier Hemant Mahajan also joining us. Brigadier, your first reaction to the deal that seems to have been brokered between Wagner and Russia. We're given to understand that the criminal charges would be dropped against Wagner chief and that the Wagner chief, along with his troop, would be retreating to Belarus.
What we have to understand is that Mr. Putin is a strong man and his power is unchallenged as far as Russia is concerned. Now in Russia, if somebody can challenge his power and say that I'm carrying out a coup against you, start marching towards Moscow, the Russian army tries to bomb him with the help of helicopters, etc. There's a war of words between the Russian army generals, the Russian intelligence agencies and Wagner. And he gains success because people start giving up, give away their weapons and give away the bases without fighting. Shows as to how powerful this person has become, the Wagner group. The most important reason is that Wagner group has become powerful because he is the one who's actually fighting in the Ukrainian war. And he says that the Russian army, which numbers about 2 lakh plus, is just not ready to fight because the Russian soldiers who are basically, let's say, come there for only 3-4 years are not willing to fight. So Russia is fighting a war in Ukraine only with the help of standoff weapons like missiles, artillery guns, etc. Now this person, what he says is, he says he's a true Russian and he wants to ensure that Russia wins a war against Ukraine. But the Russian generals, or in a nutshell, the Russian army is not allowing him to fight, not giving him adequate weapon and adequate support. So therefore he is not able to win the war for them. And to show his anger, this is what he tried to do yesterday when he captured a city and started marching towards this place, Moscow. But then he realized that this will lead to a lot of bloodshed and start a civil war there. So therefore now the peace has been brokered with the help of Belarus, and the report says that him and his group are moving towards Belarus, and in return the Russian armed forces or Russian government has dropped all the charges against him. But the fact remains that Putin has been challenged.
Yes.
This has never happened in the history of Russia. And another most important issue is, if Wagner does not fight along with the Russian army being able to do anything worthwhile in Ukraine, the chances are very, very limited. So the fact remains that Russia has been weakened and Russia's war efforts in Ukraine will reduce drastically.